Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel. I am Jamila and I love all things beauty. I love all things makeup, I love all things skincare, and I especially love sharing my tips and tricks for how to get high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. Yes, we do. So if that sounds like something that you are interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the family. And let's dive into today's video. As you guys already saw from the title and the thumbnail, Jesus. Today I'll be doing a first impressions on the ODEN'S and ANNETTE collab Giant Wolves palette. Oh. Now this is actually my first palette from ODEN'S, so I'm not familiar with the formula, but I'm really excited to try this. When ODEN'S said that they were coming out with this collection, which is a collab collection, so there are 3 creators in the collab: ANNETTE, Tina from the Fancy Face, and Judy. I was really excited. Now, I know ANNETTE, I know Tina, I didn't know Judy, and of the 3 palettes, I picked up 2. So what I'm going to do today is give you guys a first impressions of the palette that they did with ANNETTE, walk you through the product details, show a couple of swatches, and then I'm going to do one eye look. I actually am getting ready to go out, so this might be a little bit of a quick video because I don't have the time to do all of that. So let's dive in first with the product details. So like I said, this is part of a collaboration. It is ODEN'S collab with ANNETTE. And I will leave ANNETTE's channel linked down below. Now, the palette did come in this really, really beautiful box that features all of the creators from the collab. You get this really nice card, and there is a note from each creator. And for ANNETTE, it says, Thank you all so much for shopping this collaboration. I hope you have as much fun playing with this as I did creating it. Super cute. And the other thing with this collab is that each palette comes with a matching scarf. So I haven't opened this yet. So this is ANNETTE's scarf. It's the identical image for the palette. It's really cute. Aw. See me rocking this in my hair. Anyways, that I think is adorable. But let's dive into the palette. So this palette does have a 36-month shelf life, and it was made in China. And there are all of the product details for this palette on the back here, and you see all of the shade names here as well. Now let's open it up. When you open up the palette, it is absolutely beautiful. Now, the other thing is that there is ANNETTE's signature on the bottom of the palette here, which I think is super cute. And then you have these shades. So you get 12 shades. And ANNETTE does have a number of videos on this palette on her channel. She talks about the inspiration behind the palette and where all the shade names come from. And the other thing with this collection is that each palette does have one duochrome. So the shade Eternal, which is the shade down here, is the duochrome for ANNETTE's palette. So without further ado, let's just dive into some swatches of this palette. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go row by row here and do my best. You guys know swatches are not necessarily my thing, but let's try. So here we have the first 3 shades from the top row. We have Astral Flare, and then oh my god, these are too far apart. Antipode. And I will say, just from touching these, they are very, very soft. Like I said, this is my first time with ODEN'S formula, so I have no expectations, nothing, just going into this. Here we have the second row. The first shade we have is Annihilation. Then we have Skull. And the last shade is Desolate. Here we have the third row. The first shade is Howling. Then we have Haiti, one of those, and the last shade is Ablaze. And then we have the fourth and final row. And this shade here is the duochrome. I don't know if you guys can see that on my finger. That is so pretty. So the first shade we have is Cosmos. Then we have Eternal. Whoa. And lastly, Azure. So here you have it. These are all of the shades in the ODEN'S Eye and Annette Giant Wolves collab palette. Let's see if I can show you guys. Here you go. Absolutely beautiful. And one thing I will say is that out of all of the palettes that did release in this collab, this was the one that caught my eye the most. This was the one that, this is the color story that spoke to me the most, that inspired me the most. So I'm very, very excited to put this on my eyes. Now, the shades that definitely captured my attention are these green shades because I love green eyeshadow. Of course, this multi-chrome, which shifts blue, pink, purple, is stunning. So I immediately want to put this on my eyes. And I do really enjoy this like grungy blue and this matte purple. Honestly, all of these shades are pretty. So, trying to think what I want to do. Okay, I have to play with this one. So I'm going to definitely be using this one in today's eye look. So let me wipe off these swatches and let's get into the eye look. Okay, so to start today's eye look, I am first going to go in with the blue shade Azure. And just to show you guys really closely, it does have a beautiful paw print embossing in that shade, which is so pretty. So I'm just going in with my e.l.f. and J. Kissa brush, picking up a little bit of that onto the brush, and I will be buffing that into my crease. Now this palette does have a little mirror. It's like a tiny oval mirror that is cute, but I don't see myself using it. Okay, let me scooch in. Okay, so you can clearly see that when I first applied that blue shade, there was a ton of pigment, but I was able to really easily buff that out. Now it did take a little bit of blending, but honestly, it could be the brush that I'm using. So just be careful with going into this directly because you might not get the level of, you might get too much pigment upon first application. Just going back in and adding a little bit more of that blue. Like I said, this is gonna be a real simple look today, guys. Okay, next I'm gonna go into the deep blue shade called Cosmos, and I'm gonna use that to deepen up the outer V. As always, I like to start by tapping that in and then blending it out. This is purple. This is, why did I think this was blue? So this is definitely a purple. It looked blue. I thought it was blue when I swatched it. Huh, okay. Sorry, I was not expecting that. So I'm just gonna keep blending and see where it goes. I really thought that this was a deep purple. I mean a deep blue. This is blending really nicely together though. Picking up a little bit more of that product onto my brush. Stamping it in and then blending it outward and into that blue. That is really beautiful. And then the last thing I want to do is go into that duochrome / multi-chrome shade Eternal and put that onto the lid. Now I do like to see how shimmer shadows apply with a brush before I switch to applying it with my finger. So I'm going to go in with my Refa number 21, which is probably my favorite lid brush, and try to put that on with this brush, and then I'll see if it works and if I need to use my finger. Have some of that product there. There's no fallout. Okay. It definitely did not pick up that well. So let me use my finger. This is a really soft, beautiful eye look. I was not expecting that. Now, when I do apply shadow with my finger, it doesn't give me the nice clean lines that I like on my lids. So I am gonna go back in with the Refa number 21 and then just use that to clean it up a little bit so it's a little sharper. Okay, I'm picking up a little bit more product onto the brush as well. Okay, so here we have the completed eye. Like I said, really simple 3-step eye look. I really do like how this is looking so far. What I will say about this fancy shade is that applied on its own, it's very, very soft. I am very curious to see how this looks applied on top of a matte shade or on top of a different eyeshadow, because I think then you'll start to see the flips really well. Like I think if you apply this on top of this blue shade, it will be a really nice pop, or on top of this kind of mauvey pink shade, you'll really see that pink flip. But by itself, I do think it's really soft and just like absolutely beautiful. It can be really intimidating to wear duochromes on its own, because especially from indie brands, because sometimes they can be really, really in your face. But I think that this is a really nice, subtle one that I would even wear to work. So far, very impressed. All right, let me go replicate this look on this eye, and then I'll come back and show you guys how I finish up the rest of my face. Okay, so I'm back and both eyes are done. Really liking how this is looking so far. So let's just jump into the face. You guys know I'm gonna speed through this, and then I'll just show you guys everything that I'm using, and I will have all of the products listed down in the description box. So if you are interested in seeing them some more, you'll find them down there. One thing I do want to flag is that I'm going to be using, to apply my foundation, this sponge. It is from the brand Sassy and Chic, which I found at the Dollar Tree. And this is actually a really nice sponge. Now, the Pauper sponge, you all already know that is my favorite sponge. It's $1.55 from Shop Miss A. This one is definitely not comparable to it. It's definitely more dense, but for the price, for $1, it actually does work really, really well. Sometimes I'll just be in the dollar store and I'll just be like, oh, they have some, and just add to cart, because can't go wrong with a good sponge. And this one isn't as hard as some other sponges that I found that are on the more affordable side. Anyways, let's jump into this face application. Okay, so now that I'm at this point with my base makeup, I am gonna go back into the palette and just do my waterline, which y'all know I like to keep it simple. So I'm just gonna take my A7 brush from the Ariel and Morphe collab, and I'm gonna go into the deep blue shade, put that in the outer part of the eye, and then I think I'm actually gonna go into this, either this deep maroon or this. Actually, I'm gonna take this pink and put that in the inner part. Yeah, I really like how this pink kind of really blends in with the pink from that duochrome. Cool beans. Okay. Okay, and I'm back, and this is the final look. So last couple of things. In the inner corner, I went in with the shade Astral to do my inner corner highlight. For my lips, I used my Morphe Toastie pencil, and then I went in with the Proper Beauty lipstick in the shade Victress, and my Pat McGrath lip gloss in the shade Naked Rose. And that was pretty much it. And then I added some liner and some mascara. So, final thoughts. Actually, so let me come in a little bit closer and give you guys a nice close-up of this look. Okay, so final thoughts. I really like this. Again, this is a first impression, so take it with a little bit of grain of salt. I definitely need to play with this more. But so far, I'm very impressed with the quality of the ODEN'S eye shadows. The shadows were very pigmented from the jump. Very easy to blend, even though it did take a little bit longer than some of my other shadows. It wasn't too bad. Honestly, barely noticeable. That's like a negligible thing. But I loved how pigmented they were. They blended really well. It didn't get muddy when I started blending the shadows together. I mean, I only used one shimmer shade, so I can't really speak to how the others perform. Honestly, I only used 4 shades in this palette. So I do need to give it more use in order to have a full sort of opinion on it. But from what I used, I really enjoyed it. I didn't think that the mattes were too powdery. They actually felt like the right mix between being powdery and creamy. Did not experience any fallout in any of the shadows that I used, so that was a plus. I definitely could have done my base first. And yeah, I am really happy with this final look. Now I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it and see if it fades throughout the day, because that can happen with some shadows. But overall, I think that this is beautiful. Congratulations, Annette. I think you pulled together a phenomenal color story. And I am very happy that I have this in my collection. And I know that because of the color scheme, because of the quality so far, I will definitely be getting a lot of use out of it. Now, I don't think I told you guys the price. I will make sure that I link the price and Annette's channel and ODEN'S eye website below, so if you are interested in picking this up, definitely recommend that you do that. But that's it from me, guys. Like I said at the top, I am getting ready to head out, so I'm about to end this video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and like, make sure you subscribe, and then leave me a comment down below letting me know what your favorite ODEN'S eye palette is, because now I'm very intrigued by this brand. Anyways, as always, love having you guys stop by, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye!